Costa on the Damage 365 Radio Network.
Why, hello there, everybody, and welcome to episode number 76 of Real Sports Talk with Kenny Kluska. Of course, I'm your host, Kenny Kluska, here to bring you another exciting episode of Real Sports Talk with Kenny Kluska. As you know, I'm a big fan of sports history. I always, one of my favorite websites is, Basketball Reference, Football Reference, Baseball Reference, just seeing all these guys' stats from the past, players that were before my time. I follow my history, I know the all-time greats, so I like to, memorialize them if, unfortunately one of them passes, and yesterday that happened. We had Nate Thurmond pass away at the age of 74. Unfortunately, he played in the 1960s and 70s, 14 overall seasons, his first 11 coming with the Warriors. He was a 7-time All-Star, 14,437 career points, 14,464 career rebounds. That's a per-game average of 15 and 15. He averaged a double-double in 10 consecutive seasons. He's 10th all-time in career rebounds, 5th all-time in rebounds per game. He was elected into the Basketball Hall of Fame in 1985, and when they made the 50 greatest players list in 1994, he was included. So another all-time great, unfortunately passing away, Nate Thurmond at the age of 74. And I will have a little more on Nate Thurmond coming up, on the second half of the show. So definitely stay tuned for that, as he was the first player to do something in NBA history. So, as you can see by the name of the show, First in Sports, I'm going to look at more, first occurrences in sports history. That's coming up after our commercial break that's coming. What's coming up in sports? Well, first Sunday night baseball game tonight, Red Sox versus Yankees. Yankees really looking like they may be selling at the trade deadline. And the Red Sox will be looking for the 3-game sweep tonight. So, of course, biggest rivalry in baseball. Yankees would love to take at least the final game. A week from today is WWE's next pay-per-view, WWE Battleground, taking place in 1 week. Main event is the 3 members of the Shield, what was previously the Shield. Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, Dean Ambrose, triple threat match for Dean Ambrose's World Heavyweight Championship. After that is SummerSlam, where Brock Lesnar versus Randy Orton was already announced, and I'm sure a lot of you saw the news on Brock Lesnar that he may have potentially failed a drug test. That wouldn't be a good news for either MMA, UFC, or the WWE, because he's such a big money grabber. It's going to turn some people off if they find out that he has been cheating. I'm sure more details will come out on Brock Lesnar in the next few days. The Summer Olympics in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. The opening ceremony is in 19 days. 2016 Summer Olympics coming up shortly. I believe that's August 5th that they will be beginning, which is also my favorite athlete of all time's birthday, Patrick Ewing. But anyhow, the NFL season opener is 53 days away. That's right, coming soon. Less than 8 weeks till the Thursday night kickoff game between the two participants in last season's Super Bowl, the Carolina Panthers and the Denver Broncos. The game will take place in Denver. Of course, Peyton Manning has since retired since the Super Bowl, so looking like Mark Sanchez will be the starting quarterback for the Broncos, and of course the Panthers will have reigning MVP Cam Newton under center for this 2016 NFL season. And lastly, the MLB trade deadline usually is on July 31st this year. It's on August 1st because July 31st falls on a Sunday. So it's 15 days away, the non-waiver trade deadline. A couple moves have been made. Red Sox made a couple moves, trading for Arizona Diamondbacks closer Brad Ziegler. That's while Craig Kimbrell, their closer, is out for about a month. And a few days ago, they traded for starting pitcher Drew Pomeranz, who is having a great season. I believe his ERA is 2.47, so, that's one of the best in all of baseball. Red Sox stocking up on pitching, particularly needed help in the starting pitching category, especially with David Price not pitching anywhere near what the Red Sox expected with that record-setting contract they gave him. Just taking a look at teams that are 5+ games out of the wild card. There's 12 teams that are currently over 5 games out of one of the wild card spots in both the American League and the National League. In the American League, we have the Yankees, who are 5.5 out. Then we also have the Athletics, Angels, Rays, and Twins. In the National League, we have 7 teams that are, I believe, at least 7 games out of the wild card. And that's the Phillies, Rockies, Padres, Brewers, Diamondbacks, Reds, and Braves. So those are the potential teams that could be selling off their players come the non-waiver trade deadline. The Rays have some pitchers that could possibly be traded, like a Jake Odorizzi. I read that the Rangers actually took a look at Chris Archer's last start. He's had a disappointing season, but his track record shows that he is a very good pitcher. Rich Hill, who I know left today's start due to a blister, starting pitcher Athletics. You could see the Yankees potentially give up either Andrew Miller or Aroldis Chapman. Carlos Beltran could possibly be traded. Carlos Gonzalez's name has been out there. Jonathan Lucroy, catcher for the Brewers. Jay Bruce, outfielder for the Reds. So there's a lot of potential guys that could be traded, and a lot of teams that are in pennant races trying to get into the postseason who have holes. For example, my favorite team, the Miami Marlins, pretty much in need of starting pitching. Outside of Jose Fernandez, there really isn't a guy you could constantly count on to give you, a good chance to win every game. Right now they're up 6-3 in the 9th inning. We'll go up to 7 games over 500. I'm sure the Mets will be looking for offense. Red Sox may even look for another starting pitcher. Orioles definitely are in need of starting pitching. Outside of Chris Tillman, they really haven't had a reliable starter all season. So a lot of these teams will look to fill holes in hopes of possibly winning this year's World Series. Trade deadline only 15 days away. We're going to hear a lot of rumors over the next 2 weeks, and, maybe I'll even have more to talk about regarding those rumors and possible trades that may have happened for next week's show. Before I go to the commercial break, I quickly want to mention, check out ESPN.com. I'm not always a fan of their articles. I'm not always a fan of their TV programming. I watch a lot less than I did, say, 5-10 years ago when I used to watch SportsCenter religiously. But right now they're doing top 100 baseball players of all time. That will actually start tomorrow. And I believe from Wednesday to Friday, they did top 10s at each position. So 3 outfield positions, all the infield positions, catchers, and then top 10 right-handed pitchers and top 10 left-handed pitchers. So I suggest you check it out. It's interesting. I'm sure there'll be some disagreements that you have, but it's always interesting to see things like that. Like I said, starting tomorrow, they will be ranking the top 100 baseball players of all time. Not quite sure how they're going to do it, if they're going to have like 10 players a day. So to do 91 to 100 tomorrow, I'm not quite sure how they're going to do it, but, it'll be interesting to see who makes the top 100, who makes the top 10. Will Babe Ruth end up king of the mountain at number 1, or will they give it to someone else like Willie Mays, Ted Williams? A few options that could potentially be number 1 other than Babe Ruth. So I'm definitely going to be checking that out and seeing where, all these all-time greats rank. As I mentioned, I love my sports history. So many players that were before my time, unfortunately, but they're clearly all-time greats. And, I like comparing them to guys that are currently playing, in their spot in history. So like I said, you're a baseball fan, I suggest you check it out. Starting tomorrow, top 100 baseball players of all time. So we're going to take a short commercial break, and after that I will look into some of the firsts in sports, including Nate Thurmond and what he was the first to do back in the mid-70s. I will be right back.
By the New World Order. Hello, this is the intrepid traveler, Paul London. Good journey, y'all. When you're ready to whip your rock out, do it with Coach Kev at Damage 365 Radio.
Esposito's Pizza and Pasta. Check us out on one of our fine locations, 930 Route 34 in Matawan, New Jersey, or 233 East Main Street in Manasquan, New Jersey. From pizza and salads to pasta and buffalo wings, we have something to suit every member of your family. Whether you're seeking to take out, delivery, or just want to dine in, let us do the dishes. We would be more than happy to take care of your next meal. Our courteous and friendly restaurant staff is here to meet and exceed all your expectations. We promise an enjoyable experience each and every time we serve you. Try our award-winning Sesame Seed Crust Pizza, the recent winner of first place in the Las Vegas Pizza Open in the Artisans Division. Visit us online at sesameseedpizza.com for store hours, menus, and phone numbers, or just stop by one of our 2 great locations. You'll be glad you did. Esposito's Pizza and Pasta, so close to eating at Mom's, but without all the yelling.
Listening to Damage 365 Radio, and this is ECW Original, the Angry Amish Warrior Roadkill. Securitas.
What's up, everybody? This is Coach Kev of the Damage 365 Radio Network. I want to talk to you about one of our sponsors, the Funkenstein Wrestling Superstore. That's right, you heard it. They're in Englishtown Flea Market in the Green Building, booth number 35. They have everything for your